Why is he wearing a 6-shooter on his side? Should have been wearing a seatbelt. Oh, greetings friends, countrymen and countrywomen. This story goes out to all the glorious members of the fairer sex. A tale so unbelievable that CNN should be running it. Cheers. Hanna Duston was born in 1657, a Puritan of Massachusetts. Now, whatever you might have heard or seen from family-friendly cartoons, Puritan life in New England was a hellscape of frigid weather, disease, starvation, persecution, and near constant state of butchery between natives and the settlers. It was an accepted reality that death by tomahawk to the temporal bone was a common cause of death, and living in the very edge of the wilderness, Hanna had a front row seat to King William's War. Hanna had already beaten the odds by making it to 40 years old in an era where women tended to die at 16 during childbirth. And she had already given birth to 10 children. The latest one, Martha, was born just a few days before a raiding party of Abenaki Indians paid her farmstead a visit. So yeah, Pocahontas and a raccoon weren't gonna show up and be singing fucking happy doo-dah day motherfucker to you. So anyway, Hanna gets captured with her nurse, Mary Neff, infant Martha, and several other neighbors. It should also be noted that Hanna was ill at the time, recovering from giving birth to Martha just a few days earlier. She was in a world of suck, and she just got dragged on a journey to Canada on foot. It only got worse for her when one of the raiders, perhaps irate at the constant noise the infant was making, or unwilling to be slowed by a newborn, goes and smashes the baby Martha against a tree, killing her instantly. You can bitch about 2020 all you want, but the odds of an Indian raiding were minimal. Oh my God. Here's a bit of trivia. To the Puritans, the woods and the wilderness were the devil's product. It's where Puritans believed witches resided and the devil himself roamed freely. In the wilderness, all bets are off. Hanna was sold off to an Abenaki family, along with Mary Neff, and upon arrival she met Samuel Leonardson, a 14-year-old boy abducted from Worcester. It should be noted that this particular raid was incited by the French, who paid the native tribes in the form of weapons, horses, and brandy. Thanks, France. So, at a certain point during her captivity, the French payment for the raid arrives in the form of a cask of French brandy. The warriors of the tribe went off on another expedition, leaving behind plentiful supplies of booze in the care of just 4 adults, along with their 6 children. Whoops. I guess Hanna just couldn't get over that postnatal conducted on poor old Martha. She gets Samuel to ask one of the Abenaki men left behind the proper way to kill a man with one blow of the tomahawk, who happily teaches Samuel, who then teaches Hanna and Mary Neff. And then the Abenaki adults, well, they start drinking. Hanna tells Mary and Samuel it's time to boogie, and they agree. So, when everybody was good and drunk, Hanna grabs a tomahawk, and well, there's no polite way of putting this. She starts caving in skulls left and right. The adults were more or less killed or incapacitated relatively quickly, thanks to the brandy. The kids, well, not so much. They had to be chased around and killed one at a time. So our trio of Puritan curb stompers raced back to the nearest river, whose current would lead them back to Massachusetts. But the story gets weird, and well, somehow worse. When they arrived at the canoes, Hanna says, "I can't leave yet. I gotta go back." Now, if you're thinking that she's thinking of going back to bury the freshly murdered Abenakis, you're wrong. She goes back and she scalps them, including all the kids. Fucking savage. Now she could leave, and the 3 escaped Puritans raced down the river towards civilization. When she returned home, Hanna was revered. She was rewarded a hefty sum of 50 pounds for the scalps, because in 1697, scalping enemy Indians was a thing to do, and you got paid for it. Then again, all sides did shit like this. Now you might be tempted to judge Hanna, and we're not condoning the killing of children, but you gotta look at things through the lens of history. This was a time where an eye for an eye was a literal way of doing things. Maybe you'd get over seeing your freshly born baby smashed against a tree. Hanna didn't. And in 1897, a statue commemorating her ordeal was erected. It is believed that she is the first American woman to have a monument built in their honor. So there you have it. Perhaps one of the most unknown names in American history. A woman of her time who didn't take any shit and served her revenge cold. Remember, kids, when you wrong someone, don't get drunk and go to sleep around them. Sage advice. Join us next time where we will learn about Joe Medicine Crow, war chief of the Crow Indians, who ripped out so many Nazi spines in World War II, it'll leave you needing some medicine? Until next time.